Good morning. It's Thursday, April 29th, and we have finally heard from Kamala Harris with respect to her task of getting together with the Central American countries and working through the immigration problems that have developed over the years with all the people fleeing those countries to come to our border. And I am disappointed with the first cut. The U.S. has agreed to give the Central American countries an additional $310 million in aid in order to work together to control migration, as they call it. It's migration for them and immigration for us. Kamala said, we want to work with you in a way that will bring hope to the people of Guatemala, that there will be an opportunity for them if they stay at home. That's a wonderful thing, if there really was an opportunity for these people to stay at home. I have a problem with giving money to those countries because those countries are known for the corruption that exists in their countries. They're known for the gang and the drug dealing that goes on. So I feel that any money spent down there, if not properly distributed by the givers, that's us, we're the ones who give the money, that money is not properly distributed by us. It will end up in the hands of the crooked politicians and possibly the warlords. Now the money is coming from something that's called the U.S. Aid, as well as the Department of State and the Department of Defense and the Department of Agriculture. Now, the humanitarian aid includes $125 million to deal with repeated droughts, food shortages, and the COVID-19 pandemic. Refugee and asylum seeker protection will get another $104 million to ensure that that takes place. It's been a terrible winter down there. Between hurricanes and the pandemic, more people than usual are starving. So I'm not against giving this money. I'm not against going down there and helping out. I am against just giving the money. I want control of that money. I want to make sure that it reaches the people that need it, that it doesn't end up in the hands of the politicians and in the hands of the gangs of warlords that run those countries. So if we're giving away $310 million, which is supposed to be aid for people, then we better control that money. Also, in addition to the money, the U.S. has agreed with Guatemala to establish a new joint border protection task force, which will include a small number of officials from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. They said about 16 Homeland Security officials would initially travel to Guatemala to train local officials in strengthening border infrastructure. I don't know if that's going to work. I think it's very tough down there. I'm not so sure that training these people is going to work. I think you have to oversee it. I don't think we can train them and leave. I think we'll probably have to have a small task force down there to make sure that things run correctly. Because in that country, in those countries, corruption is a way of life. So how can we be sure that the officials in charge of border infrastructure will be dedicated to that job? It's a very dicey situation that we're in. I think we have to try, but I'm not sure that we're really prepared to do the job correctly. We did have some officials working in Guatemala under President Trump, and I don't know what happened to those officials or that effort. It was never really publicized, so I don't know. if that was a failure or if it worked or we just abandoned it. But the situation down on that side of our border is very precarious. And several officials down from the Central American countries blame President Biden for the influx of those people because they felt that he was going to be more lenient than President Trump. So I'm sure all of you remember the 18,000 children who ended up in Mexico in the first couple of days of the Biden administration. That was not a very good thing. Guatemala also asked for some vaccines, and nobody has mentioned that, but we did not give it to them. We refused because we wanted to keep the vaccines for our own people. So we forced Guatemala essentially to buy 16 million doses of vaccine from Russia. Now, that's not a very good way to start a relationship. But on the other hand, you can't give everything away either. And then the other thing that happened, there's a judge down in Guatemala who's a corruption fighter. He's against all the corruption that's going on in his country. Well, the Guatemalan lawmakers refused to swear him in. They refuse to have him take office because he's going to fight corruption. So this is an extremely dicey situation that we're getting into. And we, knowing all of these events and situations that have taken place, have to be really tough in this situation. We have to be tough if this is going to come out the way we want it to be. And I hope that we are not stepping in a pile of shit that is going to be there just like Afghanistan for 20 years. This thing has to have a time limit, say 4 or 5 years of effort. And we better make sure we have the right people working on this job or it's going to fail. And this is not a small task that is being undertaken. So the best I can say at this point is that I wish Harris luck, but I am not completely convinced that we can do the job properly, especially that we have so many other jobs to do. So I leave you with that thought this morning, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.